So, not defending yourself, part 2. Um, what I would do, or what I would hope I would do, in a situation in which somebody's treating me badly, is to offer up my suffering and uniting it with Jesus, because every suffering that Jesus went through that is relatable to us is the kind of suffering that can be offered up, right? And that's why in one of the previous videos that I will probably post or put a link on the description of this video, I mentioned that I would pray for God to take away any suffering that is caused by myself, by my own sin, right? Because that is not necessarily a type of suffering that Jesus went through. He did not go through his own suffering because of his own sins. He didn't have to do that. He went through the suffering because of your sins and because of my sins, but not his own. So yeah, I would cast that suffering on Jesus, and I would say, please have mercy on me. I messed up, and now I am suffering a lot because of the mistakes that I have made. So please have mercy on me and take this away. But what Jesus will do is eventually he will send other types of suffering that you and I did not cause, and that kind of sufferings are the sufferings that he himself can relate to the most, which is the suffering of injustice, right? Physical suffering, such as, obviously he was getting crucified, but illnesses, etc., etc., etc. The gift of desolation, right? Like spiritual desolation, spiritual suffering. He can relate to all those things, and that is redemptive, very redemptive, right? Like that purifies our souls to the extent that once we become sufficiently refined, sufficiently reformed inside ourselves, that's whenever our suffering is not just redemptive to us anymore, but it's redemptive to others. So learning to not defend yourself and hold your tongue can be one of the highest virtues, because a lot of the times we demand to be treated like kings and queens. And I am sorry to tell you that you and I are not kings and queens. Only Jesus is a king, only Mary is the queen, and we should not be demanding of people to be treated like such. And this involves a variety of different characteristics, such as what the world would call being a Karen, or being a Ken, I think is what people are saying for men. The equivalent of a Karen, but the male version of it, right? And to the point that you're defending yourself too much, and everything has to be just right for you because you feel like there should be a red carpet being rolled in front of you. Yeah, that is a very grave sin, mainly because there's a lot of pride and vanity involved in all that. You're not that important. And a lot of the saints preached about how it is good to learn to be mistreated. So if you are one of those people that is in the polar side of the spectrum, or the opposite side of the spectrum, in which one side of the spectrum says, don't defend yourself, and you're very shy about defending yourself. The other side of the spectrum is, always defend yourself, you deserve better. And there has to be this happy medium in which we are called to live. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out, that it is a virtue not to defend yourself, and it is also a virtue to learn how to defend yourself. So I'm just repeating myself. So happy medium, aim for that. Goodbye.